Oh, I forgot to do the damn friends and enemies. Welcome back. Sorry, D's laughs. I'm sitting away from my computer here. Little technical issue on this all-time high day. I'm rearranging stuff in my office here, trying to find some more space. Len can hear his own voice on a split-second delay echo, but we're here.
Yeah, I went crazy.
It's gonna suck, but you know what? It's all-time high, so I feel good. Do you feel good? How are you doing over there, buddy?
Oh, I hear voices in my head. Other than that, I'm fucking fantastic. What a beautiful day it is. You know, we had a pump in the price of Bitcoin. It's nice and warm outside. You know what was interesting too, Joey? I listened to CBC radio because I just fucking hate myself. I want to hear what's going on out there. And they were talking about how in Toronto, the city itself was the second most polluted city on Earth by air quality. Second most. You know, we have cities like Islamabad. I think that was number one. 14 million people live in Islamabad, I believe. You know, Beijing, I don't know, 10, 15 million people live there. New York, 15. Like all these big cities that have so many people in it. But yet Toronto was number two. I don't know what metric they used, but they scared the heck of a lot of people based on the fact that this is saying, it's very, very bad out there. Whatever.
What can be said about the CBC?
See, Len is echoing bad.
I do not hear an echo on my side. I hear nothing.
I don't know what to do.
Len dropped into the metaverse. We tried to solve this for like 10 minutes before the show and we couldn't figure it out.
So do you want to restart it and figure this out because it's probably unplayable? Or you could do this yourself.
Okay, I'll wing it for a few minutes. You try and figure it out, and then
I don't know
see
how
what
to
happens.
do it.
I don't know. I mean, Google might be able to help. I'm not sure. Honestly, I have no idea.
Have you changed anything on your side?
No, I can't change your settings. I can only change whether or not your mic is loud or quiet. That's it.
Yeah, because I don't know what else to change. There's been I don't know. It's what it is.
I don't even hear it. I can't hear it. You know what? I'm gonna pull up the stream on my phone. Hold on. This is Business on Air, and we'll see how it sounds on my phone. Give me a second here, Len.
Is there anything on your settings that you've changed? Because now you're in a different setting, different environment, different something. Maybe that's causing it.
I can't change anything on your end though. Like I
don't know if it's my side. I mean, the only thing that's changed between last episode and this one is you're now in a different spot.
Yeah.
I haven't changed anything. It's the exact same thing.
I know, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I can't change. What I think it is for some reason that mic is catching your voice going in, and then it's also catching your voice through StreamYard. So it's doing it twice, once a little after the first time. And that's why there's a tiny delay between the two.
I changed the mic. I could even go to like a headset, like a wired headset with a mic in it. I could even go to like a very basic setup.
We could try. You want to try?
Let me get it.
Full caveman setup here. We'll do the sponsors and we'll do some housekeeping. EasyDNS, lead sponsor, banner sponsor. You guys know the deal. Mark is your friendly neighborhood registrar. He helps you get all your website needs taken care of. You want to buy a domain, portal domain, whatever. Mark's got your back. Lots of stuff over there for Bitcoin enthusiasts, virtual private server stuff, lets you do NASA relays, Bitcoin nodes, BTC pay server implementations, you name it, he's got it. And there's probably other stuff that he can help you with that I'm not particularly keen on. So if there's something that I'm not mentioning, I'm sure he can still make it work for you. On top of that, a couple extra bucks, domain sure, easy mail, protect your data, protect your clients' data, your newsletter subscribers' data, everyone's data. Because everyone's out gunning for data now. It's the new oil, as the saying goes. So we got that to think about. And of course, Mark was doing Bitcoin Treasury before it was cool. He takes Bitcoin First services so you can pay in corn if you like. And your registration will get cheaper and cheaper if you pay in corn. I'll tell you that. CBP Media is the code. Go there. 50% off your first round of buys. Second sponsor is Bull Bitcoin. I mean, what can you really say? What's corn right now? 120,000. I can't really make up my block clock from this far away, but it is high in any case, and we are approaching new all-time highs. It seems like all the time. I think this morning when I woke up, it was 122. So where am I going with this? Well, it's a good time to be stacking. I don't know why you wouldn't be stacking right now. We haven't had a Trump-era rate cut. There's a war overseas, and inflation is ticking up again. never a better time to be a stacker than right now. So if you haven't started your stack yet, go to Bull Bitcoin. You can use bills over there if you want to add a little bit more functionality to your Bitcoin. Pay your bills, man. Mortgage, cell phone, whatever. All doable over there. No problem. All you have to do is get on the platform and decide where you want to send your Bitcoin to pay that bill. Use our code, CBP. I think there's a link in the description, and it'll take you to their brand new app to sign up. 25% off your fees for life. I got to give a quick shout out here to our boy Rob. Sent over a number of fitness/health products from his wife's company, True Me Whole Health. I don't often, I'll be honest, I certainly don't pimp products that we receive on this show. A lot of people send us stuff all the time. I don't often pimp them. I just say, yeah, thanks for sending it. I'll use it, and if I like it, I'll tell you. I'll give you some criticism if not. These are like BCAA plus electrolytes, drinks, little sodas. They're all natural ingredients. There's like nothing in here I can't pronounce, which is great. And it tastes amazing. This is like really good stuff. So I've been drinking these last few days. I really like it. I'm going to try the BCAA powder next. And I think you guys should give these guys a look. I'm not paid to say this. So I just want to let people know when someone who's a friend of the show sends us something that we really like, it's good to tell people that we're into it. Little housekeeping. Well, Len sorts things out on his end. Looks like
I'm trying my best. Could you, I can hear an echo.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't know what to do. We might have to delay this for an hour or something. I don't know.
Is there another computer?
No.
Phone?
I could try.
I mean, I don't know. I'm out of ideas.
Yeah, let me try another computer.
It says, Joey, do you have effect options on your end? No, I don't have anything. I don't know. I'm using just it's the same setup as I usually use. I just change chairs and change mics. Like it's just, otherwise it's the same.
Okay, let me just try another computer. I do have another one I could try, but I gotta move around shit. It's gonna take 10 minutes or so.
Sure. I got lots to talk about. No problem. Happy to do it. Yeah, no problem.
I'll be back.
Okay, we're working on things over here at CBP. So we get a couple housekeeping items. Last week I talked to Stockwell Day, which you guys, like, I really got to give another shout out to Rob who helped set that up. We really appreciate that, Rob. Talk about a well-read guest. Having a guy like that on the other end of the show for an interview is incredible. He spent more time with me than he had to, for sure. We had a little bit of a scheduling mishap. We got our wires crossed, and he's a busy guy, obviously. Like, I'm running a podcast. He's trying to get energy projects funded in Alberta. One of us is not like the other, clearly. And I was happy that he was able to make time. We had a great conversation about a ton of stuff. The Conservative Party, sort of current state of affairs, and Poilievre's election loss. He had some great stories about Mark Carney. Mark Carney thinks he looks like James Bond. I didn't know that, but that is pretty funny. Does he look like Daniel Craig? I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. He might be a little smaller in stature. Short Kings Unite, I guess, but I don't know if that's James Bond worthy. And then obviously we had some discussion about energy, the modern right, and talked a lot about CBC and Marxist cultural sort of inclinations, let's say, in the modern press and in modern society. Everything from education to media to, it was really good. And like I said, he's a busy guy, and he certainly doesn't have to give me that much time, but he did. And for that, I am very grateful. And at the end of the show, he told me that, he was happy he came on, and it was a good interview, and he would like to come back if we'd have him, which is great. I said this on the show before, and I told him this as well. We say no to a lot of guests here. We have said no to people from CBC. We've said no to people from the political realm. And that seems to me to be the best default answer. Mostly because I think that, like I said, to Stockwell, the modern politician is so well trained and so media savvy that it's easy to not give me the truth when we speak. And I don't like that. You guys don't like that for sure. And it's not worth anyone's time. So anytime I can get a politician that I know a bit about, and I think I'm confident will have the media savvy plus give me honest answers, it's a big win for me. And so I was happy to to be able to make that a reality, which was great. Some interviews we have coming up this week, either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to be talking to the guys from Learning Bitcoin, including Pablo, who's in the chat. Pablo, I see your name, though I can't read your comment. My eyes are not that good anymore, buddy. I have some stuff I might have to do Wednesday night, so it might be moved to Thursday. Very excited for that. I got a message this morning from Joe Barbudo, Economic Long Wave. He saw somewhere a rant that I did directed at boomers and said, he needs to come back on because he's got a lot of boomer stuff he wants to share. And he didn't share it last time. And I said, I got a gap next week if you want to come on. I always got time for you. So he will be joining us from, I don't know, Boca Raton or wherever he is. He's somewhere where you can have 3 buttons undone at the top of your shirt year round, I think. So looking forward to seeing what he has to say and how much better his tan is than mine. And then the week after that, Heather Exner-Pirot is coming on. You may have heard her most recently on the Looney Hour podcast. She talked a lot about energy and Ottawa's, war might be the right word, their war against energy policy in Canada. Interesting stuff specifically pertaining to publications and what an academic institution or an academic think tank can say about energy and energy policy. Interesting stuff. You guys may not know this, but even the Parliamentary Budget Office is worried about what they say and don't say in terms of what they expect on the energy side in terms of pollution, costs, and whatnot, because it's all rolled into one of these bills. I forget which one, C9, maybe C3, I forget. But basically, there's a significant risk of litigation from the federal government, which I didn't know. And I encourage you guys to go back and listen to that episode. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the data center, Bitcoin mining ask that's going to be coming down the pipe here and other places as well. And I'm looking forward to that interview quite a bit. And then in August, Caribou, you guys may know, Nick is going to come on and we are going to talk, I think, about a Canadian hash force. So interesting stuff going on, obviously, with mining and surplus energy. And obviously, the Bitcoin price is driving a lot of interest from some people you'd expect, others you may not. And so Nick has been giving a lot of thought to this. And we plan to do this in the spring, but we both got busy and decided to just wait until now. And so we're going to do this in a few weeks. Last piece of housekeeping. Hopefully Len comes back. I don't know. I'm looking at my phone here. It's not lighting up. I may once again be emceeing the Canadian Bitcoin Conference. So I'm excited about that. Talked to the conference organizers today, Dan Carlin, who's a friend of the show. And, I think a friend of mine as well. Once we were done talking about our kids and just how hard and fun and great it is to be a father, we got down to brass tacks and started talking about that too. So I'm looking forward to doing that again in Montreal. That is in October, I think. October 10th, 11th, something like that. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be a lot of fun. And I hope to see all of you guys there. Now, obviously, Len is not back, so I'm just going to keep talking. Bitcoin all-time high, again, overnight. It feels like we just did this last week. We were closing in on this 120 for a long time. I think it's a measured move. There he is.
Is it better? I can still hear you.
How is this possible?
Only different.
Hold on. We have to sort this out.
It's a totally different computer. Different webcam, different everything. So sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going through some settings here, settings up to get things right. The echo that you're hearing is brutal.
Can you still hear it?
It's gone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you okay. Yeah.
It's gone.
Okay. I think I see the problem here.
Let me revert back to my other computer because this one is a piece of crap, as you can tell.
Okay, so there's actually one setting on your end that I can change, and it's echo cancellation. Go figure. I didn't even notice that. I thought I could
I tried the echo cancellation.
It's on now. It's on now, and you say the echo's gone?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, we're cooking. No problem. Okay, take 5 minutes, get the other shit back. I don't mind talking.
I tried the echo cancellation on the other one, on and off. It didn't change anything. Do
you want to stay like this?
Well, let's go. Can anybody hear me? Does it sound good or not? If it sounds good,
the chat is hilarious. They're just laughing at this.
Is it good? If it's good, I'm gonna run with this. I don't give a shit. This computer is a piece of trash, and I'll just fucking deal with it. I got my Notes here, ready to rock and roll.
Okay, let's rip
Like,
it.
it's just like a patch.
Who knows, man? StreamYard. This happened with Heather too. Heather,
is it good enough, or like
I think you sound fine. I think you sound fine. You sound like you're talking into a laptop mic. It's clear enough for me to hear you. It's no problem for me. I don't care. What does everyone else think? Everyone else seems to think it's okay too. So
okay, it's fucking rock, man. Like,
let's
where are we at
okay.
right now?
We're on the first story. I just finished housekeeping. First story. Let's get into it.
Wait, don't we have sats? We have to do boosts?
Yeah, we got to do the boost, right? Almost forgot about the boost.
First story.
But everything else is done. I took care of everything else.
Okay. Your sound quality went down apparently. So anyway.
Come on.
Something's let's do what we have right here. So Sunny Pines Homestead, 1,000 sats. He says, "You guys rock. Keep crushing it. Cheers to an all-time high."
Yeah, wait till he hears this episode. He may change his mind about all that stuff. So, but yeah, cheers to an all-time high, definitely.
Okay, I'm curious to hear it. So next up we have Doug, 1021 sats, and this is with respect to your interview with Stockwell Day. Great name and great guest. Absolutely love the parallel he made between the cultural communism of being canceled compared to actual communism, where dissenters were brought into town centers to be shot. Also, if no tax is off the cards, I may be a tax maxi. Progressive taxes were even in the Communist Manifesto. I didn't know that progressive taxes was part of the Communist Manifesto.
He kind of mentioned it. Yeah, the flat tax is a crazy thing. Like I when I heard about that, I had to go take a look for myself. And you know what the worst thing about that is? They were able to put it in and seemed to have some success with it at the provincial level, and then went backwards on it. They ended up with an NDP government there and went backwards. It's just unbelievable. They undo every good thing that they can. And Alberta still, I think, is a little more orange than anyone is willing to admit, even though Danielle Smith is the premier. But
I got to put some light on this. I look like, you know what I mean? I know I'm tanned, but I'm not that tanned. You know what I mean? This is whatever. Business Cat writes in 10,000 sats. Donald Trump can't drain a fish tank, and he laughs. It's a laughing emoji.
That was a good line by you. Yeah, that was a really good line from you.
Jer, 21,000 sats. These are pretty big ones. It's the last one too, by the way. Quote unquote worked up. Len is the best version of Len. That growl and laugh at 11:59 of the second half was priceless. Never change. Appreciate you both. And he gives a salute.
God bless. Thanks for the sats, man. Yeah, the show doesn't run without you guys. So there's not a lot of podcasts, I don't think, that can run, technical technical problems the first 15 minutes and still go. Got some support from the chat on the sound. Great. So everything is just Gucci. I mean, I guess, Len, you're going to start at all-time highs when it comes to the stories. It seems like that's the most logical place to plant our flag first.
Well, that's the biggest news item of the day. But no, I want to talk about ETFs. No, fuck you. We talk about the fucking price. But what else could I say aside from we hit a new all-time high, right? And for people out there that have recently come into Bitcoin, they're probably very happy, but maybe also thinking, should I sell? Is it a good time to get rid of it? No. It's keep buying. But what goes up, man, Bitcoin, it will come down pretty hard too. It will never go to zero, but you may see a drawdown 10, 15, 20K. It happens, right? Even more. You just got to be diamond-handed about this whole thing. Just be ready. Right? We can't predict what's going to happen, but it's going to be volatile, going up and going down as well. Who knows? It's a lot of fun to watch. I just see this, and you know what? The more the price goes up, in a way, the more angry I get, because it just proves we were fucking right. And still, with all this, I was thinking the other day, what's the percentage of people that actually have Bitcoin or Bitcoin exposure? Like, it's got to be a small number in the grand scheme of things. Not just overall population. I'm talking about people just with money, like investors and shit like that. Like, it's still very, very early stages of the game. And with no CEO, with no PR campaign, no nothing, it got to 122. That's incredible. Why is that? Because the technicals, they make people want to buy it. That's really why. There's nothing else like this out there.
When you say technicals, you mean like the fundamentals of the asset?
Yeah, the fact that there's only 21 million and it can't be confiscated from you, and it can't be copied. The coins can't be copied. There's like so many good things about it. That's why people want to buy it and want to hold on to it. Because let's be honest, there's really nothing else like this out there. Gold could have been it, but we've talked about gold in the past. The difficulty of managing it, and so Bitcoin takes that away from you, and you can send it across space very easily. Gold you can't. So you're looking at this, it makes sense. It's the money of the internet. And then you throw in Lightning on top of that, where you could easily transact, send micropayments around. I love the Zaps feature for Nostr, for instance. You write a good post. You write something that's meaningful, that there is something behind the message you're putting out there, and people reward you. People reward you with micro payments of Bitcoin. You get 10 sats, 100 sats, 1,000 sats, whatever the fuck it may be. But people reward you in that. That's the beauty of it. That's something I look at, and I'm going into the weeds here, but I look at Nostr as a better alternative than X. It's very, very premature, granted, but still, and how it utilizes Bitcoin, where X could have done that, but they haven't. Sailor came up with some good points with ways of getting rid of bots, for instance, where you'd have to have some sort of payment for every message, and you have to be really small, but still that would be a way of getting rid of bots. But for whatever reason, X never decided to adopt this model. They should have. But Bitcoin for the win.
I think this is this all-time high is so great. Okay, so I said to a couple of buddies, like, if you look at the metrics that you'd normally pay attention to see how popular this is at the moment among plebs, among retail, among whatever, you look at a couple things. Google Trends, we talk about all the time. Coinbase is still like ranked 140 in the App Store. It's way down the list. Okay, it's made a little bit of a gain from the like high hundreds to the mid hundreds over the last week or two, but it's still way down the list. ETF funding, pretty steady. It's not seeing a huge spike. And best of all, like we talk about this every week, okay? And you and me laugh about this privately too. No rate cut since Trump came in. War overseas, recession looming. Jobs numbers are bad everywhere. Everything is part-time, gig work, temporary jobs, government and healthcare and education, all publicly funded. Private sector is struggling. And what do we see? The price is just keeps ripping. I don't know what the no coiner has to see before they realize, oh fuck, I got to get some of this stuff. Like what are they waiting for? At this point, what are they waiting for? It's my view, it continues to be my view, that at this point it is only ego stopping an average person from getting in. I don't buy this like I don't have enough money, blah blah blah. Everyone's got $1 a week, $1 a month, whatever to buy this stuff. At this point, it's either you don't know anything about it, which is getting harder and harder to believe, or you just keep saying it's going to blow up. I don't know if you ever go on the Buttcoin subreddit, but the Buttcoin subreddit has people saying, how much longer do we have to wait for this to blow up? Because people are getting rich, and I'm waiting to say I told you so, and it ain't coming. Even there, the client, the client base of the anti-Bitcoin crowd is basically saying, look, I'm running out of gas here. Like, I am exhausted of telling people this is going to blow up and it's a Ponzi. The price just keeps growing. Adoption just keeps growing. ETFs just keep buying. Institutions just keep buying. What do you make of this? Like, how does an average person look at this and go, I don't want any? Now, here's the best part. What are the odds, Len, that, like, again, we talked about this before, but it bears repeating. Retirement funds looking at this stuff, pensions, average investors going from 0% to 5%, people who are 5% gold going from 5% gold to 2.5 BTC, 2.5 gold, real estate looking to get into Bitcoin. This is all going to happen because at some point, it's not about how much you like the asset or understand the asset or whatever. What it's actually about is, how come I'm not keeping up? How come my portfolio is not keeping up? And once that starts to happen, you're going to see like real price acceleration. I think this cycle is just getting started. Two more things I want to mention. One, the Bitcoin gold ratio. We're still not all-time highs against gold, right? That's the big one. Here's an even bigger one. everyone in the no coiner camp, and even some Bitcoiners or Bitcoin adjacent people who agree with the method, who agree with the mentality and the value prop of the asset, but don't have any, let's say. And even people in our space land that are like as deep in this as you and I say that this thing is correlated to the Mag 7. We are about to break out against the Mag 7 for the first time in a long time. And once you drop those correlations with gold, with high beta tech, what's left? Everyone is looking at these things and going, if this is not the correlation, then what is? The answer is the correlation is how fast people are realizing fiat is dying. It's not about the stock market. It's not about interest rates. It's not about liquidity. Because right now, all those things are working against us. And here we are at all-time highs. This is blue skies, man. This is a good day to be a Bitcoiner. And don't forget to tell people that you were anything but lucky, okay? No luck involved here. Everyone told you it was a scam. You guys got it right.
No, don't forget, what goes up could go down, and it could go down pretty damn hard.
Boo, boo.
It is true, because you have to set the table for people, their expectations for what's going to happen. And even though you're at the all-time high and there's all this euphoria and all this positivity, who knows what's going to come around the corner? I hope it continually goes up, but in a way, I hope it goes down too, because my 2025 stacking goal is not going to be met at this pace. So, selfishly, I prefer the price to go down so I can meet that stacking goal. But whatever I will doesn't change anything. It goes where it wants. My thoughts, just like the weather, I can't change it. It happens. No matter what tax I pay, or no matter which way I think, it goes where it wants. Just like the price of Bitcoin. And you know where it goes, it is going to go. And I'm happy about that. It's good to see. And you're right. There's going to be a lot of money coming into it. The one thing I want to see, and I'm not sure when it's going to happen, or even if it ever will happen, is when there is nothing left to buy. Is when somebody goes out and I want to buy, quarter Bitcoin, half Bitcoin, one Bitcoin, and it's not there because it's all been gobbled up and nobody wants to sell. That's going to be an amazing place to be. That's a potential for parabolic price increase.
That's what I like to hear. Parabolic price increase.
Well, the potential exists.
Yeah.
And now you have, and then we can even transition into a subject that is adjacent to it with these treasury companies, because a lot of them, it seems like every day there's another company that makes the announcement that they're coming in. How much more capital will come into a new company? You know what I mean? Like if somebody else comes out and says, yeah, we're going to go invest in Bitcoin treasury strategy, is that really going to move the needle for that company in terms of their valuation? Because there's only so much capital out there that's going to move. Why would you not want to buy into, if you're looking to buy into something like that, like a MicroStrategy, for instance? Why would you want to buy the new kid on the block when you have something that's been there for a little bit while? And with respect to MicroStrategy, it sucks that they don't hold their own keys and so forth, but they did one thing that you have to respect them for, is they weathered the storm where the price of Bitcoin went down to 15K and they didn't sell any Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I would imagine if the same thing happens again with terms of price, I don't think it will. I would think that they'll probably weather the storm again. I can't say the same about any other company that came along and just started buying Bitcoin, because they're just, they're just riding the wave. Are they true Bitcoiners? Who the fuck knows?
You don't think Ryan Cohen and GameStop are true Bitcoiners? You don't think they're in it for the freedom technology?
I don't know enough about him.
The answer is obviously no.
It probably is, but yet I don't want to say with ignorance. Yeah, so that's why I can't say for certain. He's the guy from Chewy. I know he's from Chewy, and I know that they have like $5 billion in cash, and they only bought like something like 500 million in Bitcoin at a time where it was like 90,000. They would fuck them, fuck them. But it's their prerogative. They have every opportunity to buy or not buy, just like everybody else. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, same. On I started a new show, Around the Corn, with a couple of people, who are friends of this show. Something that we're going to do on Friday nights, I think, like 20 minutes at a time. This came up, obviously, Bitcoin treasury companies. I don't love them, and actually, I agree with you, Len, that the likelihood that any of these Johnny come latelys survive a significant drawdown, I think, is pretty low. Even if they survive, in terms of like the company itself, the likelihood that a board survives this, an unpopular dicey, high risk, what will be described as high risk treasury strategy during a drawdown, I think is unlikely. And you're going to get a lot of turnover, and that sets back this whole Bitcoin investment thesis at the corporate level, I think, right? So that's one problem. The other problem I think too, or not a problem, I should say, but the other element to this is, like when you think about who's buying the equities for these companies, I think it's a lot of what I would call stranded capital. So for example, if I have money in my TFSA and I want to put it into Bitcoin, but I don't like IBIT or the ETFs, well, what options do I have? Now I have a few things to look at, right? I can move money from IBIT or from whatever index fund I'm in and put it in Semler or, Metaplanet or whatever else. But are people who are buying those equities, like Bitcoiners who are buying those equities, are they loading up their TFSA to buy these things? Or are they just putting money that they already had in the TFSA, the 401k, the whatever tax managed account into the treasury companies, and still their new capital is going into spot? I think that's a risk that the treasury companies are exposed to. And I don't know exactly how that plays out, but the more you see the price run up and at the same time the funding levels for the ETFs stay the same, I think it kind of tells you that that's the story, that no new capital is necessarily coming into these ETFs. What's coming in is people going, okay, I finally see the price. I'll move a little bit of my existing investment portfolio into that. But I think that new money is going into spot, honestly. We'll see if that ends up being the case. But right now, the funding story on the ETF side, that's how it looks to me.
Germany sold a bunch of their Bitcoin, remember, like the 50K range, give or take.
Yeah.
And they look like fools for doing that. Mm-hmm. That was Bitcoin that they confiscated.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, it's not like they earned it through hard work.
This is the equivalent of the guy pawning the gold chain that he stole at a gym or something and just watching gold rip. Like, it's just a disaster for the country. But everything they do is stupid over there last 5 years.
I just want to bring that up because I want to talk about Bhutan, but I want to talk about Bhutan in a different light, because Bhutan, we got news this week that they have been, not only mining Bitcoin for a number of years, but it looks like they've been also starting to sell some of their Bitcoin. And this week, some 212 Bitcoin, the time was valued 23 million. I'm not sure what it's valued now, was sent to a Binance address. They moved it from a Bhutan-controlled address to a Binance address, and I guess with the intention to sell, right? Like, why else would you move to Binance? To buy NFTs or to lever up? These guys are selling, right?
Lever up. So they're moving the slider to 100x.
Let's do it. What happens. So, with respect to this, it's not a bad thing, and this is my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong. You could rip me a new one, but these guys, they're a country, they got bills to pay, and they didn't confiscate this Bitcoin; they earned it. Mm-hmm. They used the electricity which they generated, excess electricity, and they use this to mine Bitcoin and power up or energize ASICs, and they got a good supply of Bitcoin. And good for them for now starting to sell it, because, I'm happy to see them use it in this way. You're not going to sit on it forever. It doesn't make sense. But they used electricity, they just parlayed that, monetized it. Now they're able to sell it off. And it's not the first time they've done this. So 212 this week. Last week, they moved around 137 Bitcoin. At the time, was worth around $14 million to a Binance address. It looks like they're starting to slowly sell their Bitcoin. They still have a lot left, though. I said 212, 137. At the beginning of this year, they were sitting at over 10,000 Bitcoin. Ugh. So I have no idea how much else they've mined in the last 6+ months. Mm-hmm. But I assume, if I'm looking at this, they probably just sold off probably what they mined in the last 3 months, if that. So they still have a good amount of Bitcoin in their balance sheet. What are they going to do with it? Looks like eventually they're going to sell it, and good for them. They got fucking bills to pay. So I like to see the story. This makes sense, and I think this is a copy pasta template for other nations out there that have excess electricity. Not sure how many have it, but if you do, here you go. Fuck, if Bhutan could do it, you could do it.
It's funny that we talk about this as a good strategy. Clearly, this is what countries who hold Bitcoin, mine Bitcoin, whatever, will do. They will use it to pay down debts or cover expenses. The lesson here is that even nation states become sellers when they mine. And this is, I think, a nice sort of adjacent, warning story about Bitcoin mining companies. And it's, I think, a big reason why Bitcoin mining equities have not ripped in the same way they have before, save for a few, meme-ish ones. But to me, it's a warning that if you mine, you will eventually need to sell to cover expenses, to cover bills, nation state or otherwise. And I'm happy to see this too. It's not, like you said, it's not a big dent in their total holdings, assuming they haven't sold any other kind of coin on the side, right? But yeah, country like Bhutan, what is the whole point of mining for them, Len? It's to add a little bit of firepower, a little bit of horsepower to their operation, right? And they've clearly been able to do that. That's 23 million at last week's value that they didn't have at their disposal before. They used for programming, they used for infrastructure, they used for salaries, whatever. Good for them. I like to see that. That's 23 million they didn't have to get from the IMF, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, good point. So number go up with Bitcoin price. Not just that, also the mining goes up, because if you look at the mining adjustment, it went up almost 8% this past week. That's a huge jump. And for those who aren't aware of what the hell I'm talking about, the Bitcoin network tries to maintain blocks being built every 10 minutes. This could be sped up if more equipment is added to the network. And so a way for this to be adjusted is the difficulty goes up in the way that it tries to maintain that 10-minute average. So every 2 weeks, the difficulty is adjusted. And this past week, we had an 8% adjustment, which is pretty big. It went up. And this comes at a time when miners in Texas, they were being told to curtail their energy to send it off to the grid itself, because Texas was getting fucking hot, right?
Yeah.
And so people needed to power up their ACs for longer. Or maybe they just didn't have them powered up. Now they need them. All that shit, right? So it gets hot. They need more energy. Less energy being sent to miners. Maybe things are starting to cool down slightly in Texas. I don't know. Maybe this is the cause for the increase. I have no fucking clue. Either way,
that flood too, right? The flood probably contributes as well. There's probably something going on there. Who knows, right?
Yeah, but there's more equipment being plugged into the tune that 8% increase. That now Bitcoin mining, the difficulty is at an all-time high. So that's another thing that's all-time high. The network average over the previous 7 days is 910 exahash per second. If you want to do the numbers, you can see how many fucking zeros that is. That's a lot of computational power. And so this latest spike in the price of Bitcoin makes it also more economical to plug in equipment that may not have been profitable before.
Yep.
So that's going to then increase the difficulty, increase them. So it's great. It's just a feedback loop here. And I know this number can't go up forever with respect to the difficulty, but for now, there's still a lot more equipment like S21s that are better than the S19s. They're going to come online. It's amazing to see how much electricity, how much computational power is being allocated towards Bitcoin. It makes sense for a lot of folks.
Do you know what the best part about the hash rate hitting all-time high at the same time the price hits an all-time high is?
What?
That Ethereum has seen nothing but decline against Bitcoin since they moved from super high power consumption to proof of stake. They made the most obvious tactical error about their network security, and they are paying the price for it in such a big way. They went all in on environmentalism, on energy preservation, on proof of stake, and said, look, we think this is the right thing to do. Bitcoin's got this wrong. Look at the environment's getting hotter, whatever. The price tells the story. The most important thing about these digital assets is the scarcity and the proof of work. This is the whole equation. The difficulty adjustment that comes with mining, critical. The tied to the tangible real world through mining, critical. The power purchase agreements and who can find the most stranded energy and the cheapest energy, critical. And on top of that, like you mentioned, Len, when you have base load demand that you can offload at the blink of an eye in a mining data center, outstanding. When you have equipment sitting in the garage that you can plug in when it gets profitable, outstanding. That's what drives the incentives that make the network go. Okay. It is really it is the liquor in that cocktail. And Ethereum it's just a huge, obvious mistake, like obvious mistake they made. And you know how I know they know it was an obvious mistake? Because on the recent run up in price, there was Ethereum Foundation addresses selling Ethereum 50% below its all-time high just because they got a bit of a price spike over the last week or so. These people know they're fucked. They know they're fucked. The question is, do the rest of the Ethereum holders know? The bankless guys, I think Bank of America today said Ethereum's going to be the cross-currency platform of the future. Are you retarded? What about Ethereum tells you that it's going to be the cross-currency platform of the future? You sound like the XRP guys. That was a once mighty second place token that has been completely like relegated to AAA. And they're never coming back. They're never coming back to the majors. Too many. We've talked about this before. Too many tokens do what Ethereum does better, faster, and cheaper. Ethereum had such a first mover advantage in the altcoin space and just like fumbled it every chance they got. And this is what you wind up with now. You got to watch from the sideline as our hash rate makes an all-time high, our price makes an all-time high, our adoption makes an all-time high, our legitimacy makes an all-time high, the vibes are at an all-time high. What's going on over there? It's just a bunch of type 2 diabetics fucking sitting around crying on each other's shoulders with oddly colored hair.
Joey,
ill-fitting suits. It's just ill-fitting suits over there at Ethereum.
You said a name and you haven't said it in weeks. Bankless. Right? Like it's been several weeks since I've heard the name Bankless before. Are you still listening to that show?
Let's do the Bankless episode vibe checked. Let's see. Monday's show. Are tokenized stocks real? Spoiler.
Wait. Monday. Are they doing daily shows?
They do one every so often. This is great. The Friday show title. This is their weekly summary show. The title: Bitcoin all-time high. Is ETH next? Short answer: no. July 8th show: Ethereum strategy to win over Wall Street, from Joe Lubin and Danny Ryan. Those guys are real unbiased participants. Like the cope is real over there now. And I haven't listened in a while because I just don't have time. But I mean, come on, Len. This is like, it's starting to get pretty clear, I think, even to those guys, that there's going to be a loser here, and it's going to be them. It's going to be them.
Cathedral Bitcoin is going through some changes, and AJ Scalia and Drew Armstrong both resigned.
Friend of the show, man.
And now they have Cathedral appointed a new CEO and chairman of the board. His name is Joel Block.
Interesting.
If you have a guy named Block running a Bitcoin mining company, it just makes sense. I don't have much to say about this aside from, wow, this company, I just looked at the price of the shares, and I think it was sitting around, could be wrong, a few years back in 2021, 2022, it was like around 70 cents USD. Mm-hmm. Now it's around 4 cents USD. And again, it could be wrong. I'm just going based on memory. But it's just taken a real beating. And I feel bad for these guys. I don't know what caused them to leave, if they were pushed or they decided their time was up. So. I don't have a fucking clue.
I think they're pushed.
Yeah, it's just goes to show you it's a cutthroat game, Bitcoin mining. And another one that we used to talk about a lot, Luxfolio. I just for a joke decided to take a look at their stock price. It's fucking rebounding, Joey.
What?
Luxfolio's I don't know what they have to offer, but it's now around 75 cents. I don't know how it went up this much in the span of and didn't they adopt a Litecoin type strategy too as well?
Yeah, Litecoin treasury strategy.
For some reason, it's
you thought the Ethereum guys. You thought the Ethereum guys were bad. There's still Litecoin people out there. It's like Litecoin people are like the guys who were discovered, 30 years after the Vietnam War, still in foxholes. Like, over, boys, put the guns away. We're done here.
Well, they're still doing it, yeah. Anyways, I like that guy that looks like a young
Larry King.
Larry King, thank you, Larry King. I was going to say Peter.
God bless that guy. Listen, on the subject of Cathedral, I wish Drew and AJ the best. They came on the show when we were in our infancy, and they were babies too. They were really young. I think Drew was probably not even 30 years old. So I wish those guys the best. I will say a couple of things here that may be unpopular, maybe popular. I don't know, but I'll say it anyway. The lesson here, in light of all these Bitcoin treasury companies hiring quote unquote influencers to be on their boards, to be their strategists, to do whatever, Brunel, Burnett, you name it, right? Leclerc, Clemente, I don't know what he's doing these days. Maybe he's on there too, but the lesson here, if AJ, Drew, and Marty, who's on that board, can't get your company into the good books of investors, then you need to have a good company and not just good influencers. Okay, that's number one. Number two is Marty and Matt run, 1021 or whatever it's called. I forget. A VC outfit that supports Bitcoin companies, and Preston Pish and Lynn Alden and a few others. Jeff Booth running Ego Death. They're investing in companies going to outperform Bitcoin. This is a hill that's getting steeper and steeper. Whether it's VC or mining or anything, it's getting harder and harder. There's a lot of people who are.
How the fuck is it not 1031? Sorry, 1021. They're saying it's 1031 is the real.
It's 1031. Yeah.
Well,
I think,
right.
I think 31 is
not 1021.
Because I think the day the white paper was released was October 31st.
Okay.
That's why. Yeah, I forget. But anyway, the point is that you need quality. You need quality at the company level, not just at the board level and the tweet level. Okay, it's not a meme game when it comes to capital allocation. People don't give a fuck if Natalie Brunel is on your board. Nat's done a lot of good things for Bitcoin, but is she going to add value as a board member to a zombie company that adds a Bitcoin treasury strategy? I would argue no. I think Semler is going to find that out the hard way. But
wait, Semler, I could be wrong.
Semler put Brunel on their board maybe a month ago or something like that.
Yeah, but what Semler does though, I think Boomer was the one that said it last week.
Medical equipment or something like that. Yeah.
Is that they're using the profits? They're not going into debt. They're not diluting. And with respect to that, if you are adopting a strategy like that, it's hard for me to shit on it.
I'm not shitting on it. I'm not shitting on the strategy. I'm shitting on that they think the strategy is not good enough to bring in new capital. And it's evidenced by the media tour, by the Brunel add to the board. Those are my opinions. You can disagree or agree. People in the chat, I see the chat's lighting up. I can't read the comments. I'm blind. That's the other thing. Third thing, Mr. Block was part of the American Mining Hut 8 merger. And so to me, it says that Drew and AJ were pushed out and that company they want to become a target for acquisition. How attractive is that company as a target for acquisition? I really don't know. I don't know what their operation's like. Yeah, I mean, we could probably
CBP
afford it.
Takeover. We're gonna
cost 10. What is it? 10 BTC? Can we get it for 10 BTC? I don't know. We'll think about it. But
we'll do it for 1021 sats.
Yeah, whatever we get in boost next week, we'll put into the coffers and make an offer. It'll cost us more for the legal fees, but whatever. I don't know how attractive a company that is for an acquisition, given that they couldn't hack it as a miner on their own. And that now they're losing what arguably was the most positive thing about them. These sort of young wildcatter type visionary guys at the helm. Are they just another company waiting to get swallowed up now? I guess. This is what happens in mining. There's a lot of M&A in mining, a lot of M&A in markets generally. And I think that there's a lot of people who are, kind of saying, well, this company was doing XYZ well. I'm not sure why they fired their two biggest names. Well, the reason they fired them is because the board is tired of waiting. They want the return on their investment. They want whatever. And the only way to get it, I think, is to be acquired. So interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. I know a lot of people are invested in that company. I used to be a Cathedra stockholder. They had some great merch I never bought. I wish I had now, but anyway.
Sell it to you.
Yeah, I think that I'm waiting for the fire sale. Like when they start selling the shelves out of the offices, that's when I'll make a pitch for a hat. I'll try and get
maybe when you buy 10 shares, they'll throw in a shirt or something. So there may be right. There could be a way to entice investors to come in.
There was a time when Hut 8 was so unknown that if you bought a few shares, you could message Sue Ennis on Instagram or Facebook, I think, or LinkedIn or something, and she would send you a shirt. Like our buddy Manny Monero got stuff sent to his house by messaging, direct messaging, Sue Ennis, who at the time was like the public relations lead for Hut 8. So there you go. Things have come a long way. God bless Sue, another friend of the show. But I would just say that there's I think there's a lot of companies out there that are not
pissed off that he's all in on Monero, at least hard in Monero, because it hasn't been doing all that well compared to Bitcoin. No. Man, what the fuck you do? I guess we'll do one or two more stories. Sweden, they have a new law, and they're active right now in the field of crypto seizures, quote unquote. And so this law was put in place November 2024, and which, according to Cointelegraph, allows for the confiscation of luxury items and cash from individuals, even if they aren't a target of an investigation. How fucked up is that, Joe? You don't have to be target of an investigation for them to come hard from you. According to the Swedish government, and I quote, "It will be possible to take assets with criminal origins from criminals, regardless of whether or not it can be proven that someone had committed an actual offense." Yeah. So you don't have to have committed an offense to have this thing potentially taken from you. So they passed this law as a way to address violent crime in Sweden. I'm not sure why there's a spike in violent crime in Sweden, but maybe this is a topic for a different segment of the show. This is the
back. We
can talk about it more there. Right now we're talking about Bitcoin. But it's laws like this that make owning your own coin, like, not your keys, not your coin. It's all the more important because leaving shit on an exchange is a recipe for disaster, especially in Sweden. If you could see if they could take it, even if you're just there, you're fucking just living, it could be taken from you. And they say that Sweden is trying to deal with an unexplained wealth. So when somebody mysteriously gets a bunch of wealth, they could do it playing poker, they could get chance by meme coining, what the fuck you're doing. They have a target on their back, right? Sure. They could be fucking degenning. I'm not saying that you should do it. I'm just saying potential somebody could get wrecked or make a big time over there. Either way, this just reminds me of the shit where you are guilty until proven innocent. And the only way to really protect yourself is you got to learn how to hold on to your own keys, because if you do not, and there's a target on your back, you'll never get your Bitcoin. It's gone, it's lost, forget about it. So do yourself a favor and learn how to use Sparrow, learn how to use your own node, learn how to develop your keys offline, never expose it to the internet. All that bullshit, you got to learn it before it's too late.
How is this any different from, I mean, it's not that it's not any different. It obviously, there's some differences in the wording, but we just passed that bill here, or we're looking at passing that bill here, where you can have your mail opened if you're being investigated. You can have your assets looked into. You can have your information shared. You're going to start seeing this more and more, because soon it will be a crime to do basically anything that jeopardizes state power. And state power means a lot of things, but I think in this context, it means, they say violent crime. We've talked on the other show, Axis of Easy, about a lot of the ways that these things are framed. I think in this case, it means, like, are you accumulating enough wealth that you can leave, for example, without really dealing with taxes or issues? Are you accumulating enough wealth that you can be a political force? I think a lot of states are looking at what's going on with Elon Musk right now. And, in addition to trying to paint him as a Nazi, they are privately saying, we cannot let people amass this level of wealth in our country, because this guy now is a menace for politicians. He's the only guy on the planet with true fuck you money, and it shows. And as wealth consolidates with the most productive people running the best companies, selling the best products, and away from politicians, parties, middling corporations, middling businesses, traditional donors, those corporations no longer want to align necessarily with governments. What they want to do is influence them. And the shift from partner to, what's the best way to put this? From the shift by big business and big money from government partner to government pusher has been quick and decisive in the United States, and I think you're going to start seeing it other places too. You know when you really noticed it? CEOs of major companies like Spotify, like Shopify, Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Meta now, they're not afraid to say what they think is actually true because they know a couple of things. One, they control the money. Two, politicians are, not long for this world. And three, maybe most importantly, they control the flow of information. The Spotify guy decides what podcasts you can hear. He can say whatever he wants. He can push to his platform whatever he wants. How much pressure was that guy under when Rogan was saying that the vaccines don't work? Right? Take him down. He's a pseudoscience. He's hurting people. He just said, no, I'm not going to. I'm worth a couple billion. I don't need to worry about what you think. You don't like it? Go somewhere else. Oh, there is nowhere else because I consolidated power at the top. Like this is the game now that's being played, I think, in a lot of places. And you're going to see this more and more, that there's a thinly veiled attempt to prevent wealth accumulation at all costs. And I expect it to continue, personally.
Let's do one last story because we're coming up on an hour. I've been only here for 10 minutes. Peter Schiff.
Schiff. We're going to talk about Schiff.
I love this. And I think he's a troll.
We never talked about Schiff's weird pedo comments on Twitter like a month ago.
I don't even want to go there.
Okay.
I don't know what the heck he was on that time. I don't know if he was trolling. Maybe he was
too much Robitussin in that night.
No, but I think he's an ultimate troll.
Okay.
And so they were scraping his old tweets this past week, especially since the price of Bitcoin hit all-time high, multiple times. And they came across this beauty that reads, Schiff wrote, just had a client liquidate his entire IRA and put 100% of the proceeds into Bitcoin. What are the odds this turns out to be a wise move? The date of this was August 29th, 2017. The price of Bitcoin at that time, $4K. Now, I'm not sure what happened to that client, if he held it all the way today. If he did, good for him. But clearly that was the wrong signal to put out by Peter Schiff. And here we go. 4K at that time. I don't know what the fuck it is. 120 or the fuck.
Yeah.
Love him, man. Absolutely love the guy. He's a troll.
Yeah.
I think he's a Bitcoiner.
He's the best.
Really do.
I would love to get him on the show. I haven't reached out to him in a while. A couple of years ago I tried, but maybe now we could get him. We'll love to give it a shot. The worst thing about Schiff is that guy has done so much for hard money and just hates Bitcoin. Like he just hates it.
It's a shtick, I think.
I don't know. I mean, his whole business is selling gold. So
yeah, but except Bitcoin.
Well, I mean
he's probably stacking it that way.
He put out a public wallet address, did he not? And so now you can see how many people have sent him Bitcoin or donated Bitcoin to him. So he's got quite a bit now. Good for him. He's he's in the Bitcoin movie that eventually gets made. He's gonna have a role for sure, and there's gonna be no worse than a C-list actor playing him. And so that's more than I can say for you and me in that same movie. So good for you, Pete.
I remember when he went to the Lion's Den, Occupy Wall Street, and it was just him.
Great videos. Those are great videos. Yeah.
I don't think he had a huge crew with him. I'm guessing it was just him and his camera guy or gal or whatever. So he could have easily got the shit kicked out of him at that particular moment.
Not by that crowd. Like, not a lot of threatening people in that crowd, unfortunately. For
not
them.
individually, but collectively, I think that they could have done damage. So
yeah, you think how many 100 Occupy Wall Street versus one gold ape? You think? They could
that's I'd love to see this. We should do this in AI video and see what comes out. So if anybody has a way to generate a video for AI, please do it and send it to us. We'll play it on next week's show. Joey, I think that's it.
Let's go to the notables. We'll be right back if you're on video. Actually, you know what? No matter what your format is, we're not going to be right back. We're either going to be back tomorrow or we're not going to go anywhere. So in either case, stay tuned and we'll talk to you soon.
And don't be a cock.